Joining me right now, Wall Street Journal Chief Economics Correspondent Jon Hilsenrath. Jon, it's good to see you.
Trish, great to be here.
I enjoy talking about the Fed with you a lot.
Me too.
And you have a lot of insight into it. So what's the over-under here on Yellen keeping her job?
Well, the market doesn't see very high probability. I think in some of these prediction markets, they have her at around 20%. You know, it's a complicated choice for this president, and he's getting a lot of different advice from different people. We're reporting today in the Wall Street Journal that Jay Powell is a favorite of the Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, but that John Taylor is a favorite of some House Republican members and also the Vice President Pence. So the president is getting a lot of conflicting voices. When it comes to Yellen, you know, he said when he was a candidate that he wanted a Republican, and she's not a Republican, she's a Democrat. But at the same time, we're looking at an unemployment rate of 4.2% and record high stock prices. And one of the questions he has to be asking himself is, does he really want to change horses when he's running a race that he's winning right now on the economy?
You know what? That's a really good point, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, she's got a hard job in front of her for sure, because she's got to unwind this giant portfolio of stuff they've got. She's got to start to move interest rates higher. And that's going to be challenging if you're moving higher and the economy's not totally yet ready for it. But we are getting some more positive indications. John Taylor, I know well, and I think would have a very different approach than, say, the Bernanke-Yellen approach that we had seen. And he would be much more for getting the Fed out of the picture. I guess the question is, how soon can you do that? Back to your point that, you know, things are kind of good right now.
Well, so John Taylor is a really interesting character. He was probably the Fed's biggest critic in the world of academia during and after the crisis. He is also someone with very strong credentials. He's a Stanford University economist, and he wrote a rule which is called the Taylor Rule, which a lot of central bankers use as a guidepost for where interest rates should be. Here's the problem for the president. The Taylor Rule right now points to an interest rate of 3.5%, where the Fed is more like 1%. So the president has to ask himself, if he's going to go with Taylor, does he really want interest rates that much higher right now when the economy, listen, you know, we just had initial unemployment claims out this morning at like a 44-year low. Does he want to be jacking up interest rates?
I don't think he does.
When the
and by the way,
is doing so well?
Knowing him and knowing his business and knowing how he's made his money, it's using debt instruments, right? So he's not afraid of debt.
He said he's
likes
a low
interest
rate guy.
rates.
He said, I'm a low interest rate guy. That's what the president said.
Wow. So Yellen might actually be there longer than we think. I mean, this interview is pretty important that's happening today.
Yeah, you know, if he doesn't want Yellen, but if he wants someone like Yellen, then Jay Powell is his guy, because Jay Powell has supported the low interest rate policies, but he's a Republican, he's not a Democrat, and he's got a slightly more deregulatory bent than Janet Yellen does. So if she loses the job, I think she loses it on regulatory issues and not interest rate issues.
Interesting stuff. Jon, we're watching all of it, as are you. Thank you so much. Good to see you.